Hey guys, what's up? So it is Saturday, and I know that these videos this week have been a little out of order, but that's okay. We're not going to judge. But I'm gonna make dinner tonight, and I'm gonna make some pizza, and I figured I would go ahead and record this for you guys because tomorrow is the Super Bowl, and even though I don't really watch the Super Bowl, I know a lot of people do, and my family is going to, but I thought you might like to see a nice recipe for a homemade pizza, because maybe you want to make some for the Super Bowl tomorrow, because I will guarantee you it is better than anything that you can get at the freezer section at the grocery store, and it's probably better than most people's delivery in the area. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have everything pulled up here. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. The first thing that we have to do is get 2 cups of warm water. So we want the water to be like blood temperature. You don't want it to be super hot. So if it's hot to feel your fingers, that's too hot. If you're going to use a thermometer to test it, a probe, you don't want it to really be over 115. Right around the 105 mark is pretty good. So yeah, right around blood temperature. I'm just going to use this, well, this water is already warm back here, so. There we go. All right, 2 cups. There it goes. The next thing you want is 2 teaspoons of honey. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it because I already pretty much know what 2 teaspoons of honey looks like, but you guys feel free to measure it. There we go. So I've made pizza at home using several different types of crust. I will make a sourdough focaccia for like a deep dish type crust, and I really love that one, but this is, you know, probably the family favorite, I would say. It's super easy, super simple. If you start your crust an hour before, you will have great pizza in probably about an hour and a half's time, given bake time and putting it all together and whatnot. Okay, the next thing is yeast, and I get my yeast in a big bag, and then I just keep it in a Ziploc, and I go through it so fast that it doesn't make a difference. But if you don't use your yeast super fast, you can put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, and it will last longer. But I go through yeast like a crazy person. So we're doing 5 teaspoons of yeast. There we go. Oh, that was 5. It kind of lost track while I was counting. All right, now we are going to just give that a quick little whisk. So you just have the honey, the sugar, and the yeast in here. And you can let this go for a couple minutes to bloom. So basically the yeast gets hydrated and it decides it's going to wake up and it's going to start digesting that honey, and it's going to kind of like bubble up and get frothy. So that's what you want. It usually takes about 5 minutes. And in the meantime, we'll talk about what we're going to put on this pizza. So I can my own spaghetti sauce, my own marinara, and that's what I'm going to use. But you can use any store-bought marinara that you like. And then we're going to top it with mozzarella cheese. Now, if I was being really crafty, I would have made my own mozzarella, but I did unfortunately use a gallon of our goat's milk to try to make some chev the other day, but my rennet was no good and it didn't turn out. So, you know, it's store-bought cheese, and there's no shame in that. The other things that you can put on, obviously, you know, any topping that you want, but I do really like fresh mozzarella added on top. I think that really makes a nice addition. Today I'm just going to do pepperoni, cheese, and for my own little section, this is what's nice about making pizza at home. You can top it with whatever you want. So most of my family doesn't like all the toppings like I do. So on my little spot, I made some sausage with breakfast this morning. I made extra. I'm going to crumble up a little bit of sausage on there and add some jalapenos along with the pepperoni. Now, one really cool topping, if you're feeling adventurous, is dill pickles. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you can get some bacon and some dill pickles, that makes like the absolute most amazing pizza. I know it sounds crazy. This is already starting to bubble up, so I know that my yeast is alive, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to save some time. The next thing you're going to want is 4 tablespoons of oil. Now I'm using avocado oil. You can use a really good quality olive oil if you want. If push comes to shove and you don't have any of that and you don't want to get it, then go ahead and use some vegetable oil. That's fine too. I think I've even used coconut oil in the past, which actually was pretty good. So that's 4 tablespoons. And now we need 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to add that in there. I have this recipe so down pat. This is actually my Italian bread recipe. So if you're writing it down and you want to make Italian bread, just copy and paste. Same thing. Now, we need 5 cups of flour. In we go. 2. 4. 5. All right, and I'm just using all-purpose flour. Yes, I prefer, you know, an unbleached all-purpose flour, but I am out of my 50-pound bag and I needed flour, so I just grabbed it at the grocery store. They don't sell 50-pound bags of unbleached flour, so it's regular all-purpose. You could probably use any type of flour. Now, I haven't tried using whole wheat with this recipe, but I don't think it would be much different. You might just have to control the amount of moisture just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, I am trying to show you here what it's looking like. It's a little, there we go. It's a little shaggy right now, but it's all gonna come together. We're gonna beat it like this for about 5 minutes until it comes together and it's real nice and smooth. Now, if you're mixing yours and you're in a different elevation and it doesn't get that nice smooth consistency, you could add a couple drips of water, but don't add more than just a couple sprinkles to see what it looks like. But I want you to be able to see it coming together here. We're just going to let it go for a couple more minutes and it'll be perfect. Okay, that's been about 5 minutes and it's nice and smooth now. So I'm just going to take this off of here. Go. Move this out of the way. Okay, so this is what your dough ball is going to look like. Nice and smooth, not sticky, just nice and soft, okay? What we're gonna do now is just grease the bowl that we mixed it in. I'm just using some olive oil spray. We're gonna put that in there and we're gonna cover with some plastic wrap and we're gonna let this sit for about an hour and I will show you what it looks like then. All right guys, we are back. It's a little bit later and I'm gonna show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see, the dough has doubled in size, so we're gonna go ahead and take it out. It's nice and fluffy. And I'm just going to take my bench scraper and cut it in half. I have 2 pizza stones. I think they were Pampered Chef. They were given to me. So that's what I like to bake these on. Some people will tell you to go ahead and preheat them, but I like to just put my crust directly onto it. So it just takes a little bit of working to get it stretched out to the size of your stone here. You could do this in a cookie sheet. You could do it in cast iron, would be really, really good. Whatever you have on hand. I just like to fold the crust back on itself a little bit so that it kind of holds in the sauce. It's still gonna bubble over in my experience. So knowing that it's gonna bubble over, I have my oven preheated to 425 right now, and I also put cookie sheets underneath the racks. That way I prevent a mess because, well, I'm known for a smoky kitchen on the account that I always bubble things over. I fill things too full. So I'm just going to get these crusts going. Once in a while I will try to like play with tossing it, but I'm no too good at that, so I always end up stretching it too much in the middle. Maybe someday I'll get it mastered. Now, some things you could do is you could actually put some cornmeal on the bottom of this to give it that, you know, takeout feel. But I'm not going to do that today. It also gives it a little bit more, you know, texture and crunch if you want. So basically you want to try to make sure that it's consistent the whole way around. There's no spots that are significantly thicker or thinner than the others. Just kind of pinch it together if you got a hole or whatever. And then we are going to open the sauce and get it on there. Okay. So for the sauce, I just have, this is my own marinara. I canned it this past summer. So I'm going to do just about half on each one. I don't want to do too much sauce. Yeah, my family doesn't like it when it's too saucy. So we're just going to take a spoon and kind of smooth it around. That was a pint jar, and I didn't quite use all of it to give you reference of how much. It already smells good. There's nothing better than the smell of fresh dough and pizza sauce, in my opinion. Or spaghetti sauce, I mean. Okay. Next, we're going to do cheese, and again, this is just store-bought. I have pizza cheese and mozzarella cheese, and I go very, very heavy on the cheese. I don't want to see the sauce, really. So I'll use easily 2 packs. Well, this one's a pound, so it's a little bit bigger than that last one. If you make this for your guests for the Super Bowl, they will absolutely rave and love it. Alright. Next thing is pepperoni. You can really top this however you want. Excuse me. I'm going to get this on here. Also, the other thing, I'll show you the other thing real quick that I'm putting on here. You can top these pizzas however you want. There's so many options. It's basically whatever you want to use. I like to try to use things out of my own pantry that I have canned myself. I think it makes it just taste better, in my opinion. But I went downstairs and I didn't have any pickled jalapenos on my pantry shelf. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to use on mine. Now, everybody else in the family just likes, you know, the pepperoni. Some just like plain cheese. I'm going to put this on there. I put the pepperoni on there pretty heavy too. One of our favorite pizza joints that we go to, it's called Vincent's Pizza Park, and it's in Forest Hills. If you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, I highly suggest you go there. They put a pound of pepperoni on each pie. These things are on another level. I could never replicate them, but I do make sure that I almost can't see the cheese through the pepperoni. So I'll fill that one up later. This is my jalapenos that I'm using, and these are actually fermented jalapenos. So at the end of the garden season, I took everything I had left and I sliced it up. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. And then I just left it sit on the counter for a few days until they reached the pickled flavor that I liked, you know, the fermented flavor. And then I put these right into the refrigerator to stop the fermentation process. But whoop, I'm making a mess. They're so good. They're crunchy and they're tangy. I'm going to keep all their spice. So I just put these a little bit on the section that I'm going to eat. So I usually eat about 2 slices. That's about all. So I'll put those on there. And that's good. And that's how my pizza's going to be, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get this other pizza made up, and then I'm going to get them in the oven. You're going to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes, just depending on your oven and how it cooks. I like to switch mine, so halfway through I'll take the one on the bottom, put it on the top, vice versa, so they cook evenly. I'll show you these when they come out. Okay guys, I just took these bad boys out of the oven. I hope you'll be able to see how good they look. Here's the other one. Focus. There we go. So nice thick crust. Super yummy. Alright guys, I hope you will try this recipe. I definitely suggest you try it for the Super Bowl because people will love it. It's super simple and quick to make, and you can't go wrong. I mean, this is better than delivery 9 times out of 10, unless that delivery is Vincent's Pizza. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you love the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.